1914. The world was no longer as understandable as before. Technology had advanced very rapidly. Cities were glowing, illuminated by electric lights, and a new era in which fashion, politics, art, and culture came to the forefront seemed to have begun, with ideas of freedom and development influencing the masses. Yet beneath this bright surface, the arms race between the great powers had intensified. The race for colonies, nationalist movements in the Balkans, and the mutual suspicion and ambitions of states such as Germany, Britain, France, Russia, Austria-Hungary, Italy, and the Ottoman Empire were about to turn Europe into a blazing battlefield. In this atmosphere, the visit of Archduke Franz Ferdinand of Austria-Hungary to Sarajevo, where nationalist Serbs and Bosniaks hated Austrian rule, in an open car along a route known in advance, ended on 28 June 1914 with the assassination of Franz Ferdinand by a young Serb nationalist named Gavrilo Princip, and thus the Austro-Hungarian Empire, blaming Serbia, received unconditional support from Germany in the form of a so-called blank check, sent Serbia an ultimatum so severe that no independent state could fully accept it, declared war when Serbia rejected some of its terms, and this local crisis suddenly escalated due to the alliance system. As Russia mobilized to protect Serbia, France sided with Russia, and Germany prepared for war against both France and Russia. In order to avoid a two-front war, Germany attacked through neutral Belgium under a strategy known as the Schlieffen Plan, aiming to defeat France quickly, and since Britain had guaranteed Belgium's neutrality, it declared war on Germany after this attack on Belgium. While, once German advances were halted after the Battle of the Marne, long trench lines stretching from the North Sea to Switzerland formed on the Western Front, and in the areas known as No Man's Land, millions of soldiers came to pay a heavy price, even for tiny pieces of ground, under constant bombardment with poison gas, machine guns, and heavy artillery. At the same time, the front expanded to the Middle East, Africa, and the Pacific. The Ottoman Empire entered the war on the side of Germany and Austria-Hungary, fighting on the Caucasus, Gallipoli, and Middle Eastern fronts. And as the war dragged on, hunger, revolt, and misery grew both at the fronts and on the home front, especially in Russia, where this crisis turned into revolution in 1917, bringing the Bolsheviks to power and leading to Russia's withdrawal from the war through a separate peace. But although this gave Germany an advantage that did not last long, Germany's policy of unrestricted submarine warfare targeting American ships and the emergence of the Zimmermann telegram led the United States to enter the war on the side of the Entente powers and send fresh troops and resources. When Germany's final great offensives on the Western Front in 1918 failed, Bulgaria, the Ottoman Empire, and Austria-Hungary collapsed one after another, and finally, on the 11th of November 1918, Germany accepted the armistice. After the war, under the Treaty of Versailles, Germany faced heavy reparations, territorial losses, and serious military sanctions. And although this great devastation, in which millions of people were killed or left disabled, officially came to an end, the severity of the terms and the unresolved problems laid the groundwork for the even more destructive Second World War, which would break out only about 20 years later